And this is Tech Talk Radio. I'm Andy Taylor.
And I'm Slick.
And we're the show that talks about computers,
technology,
and the internet. Been gone for a couple of weeks. Been off taking a vacation and a workcation. Is that what you call it? It was a workcation?
Yeah. I've heard staycation, but I've never heard workcation. I think you've just coined a phrase.
I like it. It works. It works out pretty good. But
actually, it's not necessarily a phrase. It's probably just a word. It probably even could be a hyphenated word. But I digress.
Not to be picky.
Yeah.
And in the couple of weeks since we've been gone, let's see, you've been playing around with Windows 8.
Mm-hmm.
Big Bang Theory has had 2 awesome episodes. And Facebook has switched its entire timeline to the timeline.
Oh, that's just lovely.
Yeah. Now, have you switched over yet? Have you done it?
I think I switched over quite a while ago, just because when they put it that warning notice, like, you're about to, we're going to switch everybody over. I went, yeah, whatever. Go ahead. Do it. I mean, you're going to do it. You're going to do it sooner or later. Might as well get it over with now. Let me just get, like, it's the whole Band-Aid thing where you rip it right off. Let's just go. So I did it, and I mean, I'm not thrilled about it. It does have its benefits. This is almost like we talking about Metro again, the Metro interface.
Yeah.
It does have its benefits.
And you think, I think what happens is people, like, they probably look at it and then they freak out because it's just so different. And that's probably what they were doing with Metro for those that decided to try the consumer preview. Yeah. So they look at Facebook and they say, oh, it's like totally different.
Well, there are a few things that annoy me about the new interface. One is I like clean sections of a display. So you have the 2 columns, but in the one column you got the timeline, and then the second column starts out a little bit with more information like friends, and then it rolls into the timeline. No, don't do that. I hate that. And remember all that stuff you used to be able to find on the menu, like notes, photos, info. That it's not yet. I couldn't find notes for the longest time. I had to dig through other people's. I was going through their profiles, and that by accident, I found a drop down that gives you that list. But you have to go into the About section of a Facebook profile to find a link, so you can go to notes or whatever the extra links are there.
If you want to add like video and all that other stuff, there's a little like a diamond tab on the right side of the screen. When you're looking at the boxes that say About Us and then photos and all that stuff. And then you can add it so people can regularly see your notes. Otherwise, they'll never see them again.
Yeah. This will drive me straight to Google Plus. The only reason I'm on Facebook, everybody, is remember it's Andy's fault in the first place. Let's just be clear. It's your fault. But like I said, it was worth being on Facebook because you were right. We have a bunch of our friends and peers and stuff that it needed to be, and we need to network with. So yeah, I did need to be on Facebook. But now, I mean, I don't know about you, but I like the interface with Google Plus much more better because for me, it's cleaner. It's much more clear. I don't
know.
It.
I still haven't understood it. I mean, we've got a Google Plus for Tech Talk Radio, and honestly, I don't get it. It's like there'll be people that I've connected with, and then like weeks later, it'll say I've connected with them, and then I just don't understand the whole process behind Google Plus in getting your message out or connecting with your friends. I know Hangout's supposed to be pretty cool. Maybe I'm just missing something on the top layer. At least with the way I look at it with Facebook, you have this layer and you can go deeper. With Google, it seems like you've got to dig deeper to get to that layer where everybody is connected. And maybe I'm wrong.
I think you're wrong.
All right. Yeah. I'll accept that. Yeah.
Well, because I think the part of the confusion is already, I can tell you're using the term that I think is a problem for you. You just said connect. It's not connect. On Google Plus, it's called follow. Okay. So if I wanted to follow you, I can follow you, but we don't have to become friends, associated in any way. I can just, what Google Plus tells you is that, hey, I've decided to follow your post. Doesn't mean you have to follow me. We don't have to be friends. Which is what Facebook finally got to with subscribe.
Right, exactly. So. Yeah. It's funny because all the people that I found were spam. I had the weird situation with Facebook. I don't know if I told you about this, where one morning I logged on and somebody had liked one of I managed like 6 or 7 different Facebook pages, actual page accounts. And it was me with a different name. But it was my picture, my profile, everything about me, everything. But it was me. And I was like, okay, what is this all about, right? So I right away, I went ahead and reported it to Facebook cops just to tell them, hey, this is kind of bogus. This guy's using my photos and everything else and saying he's me with a different last name. So I guess they took it down because it disappeared pretty quick. But then out of the blue, I don't know what happened, I started getting requests for people in Singapore. And they all liked the same thing. They all liked one thing. It was some game. I don't know what the game was. It's like a Farmville or something like that. And that's one thing all those people had in common. And I do check profiles out. If somebody requests a connection or a friendship on Facebook, I do check it out to make sure it's legit. So I don't want my wall spammed with shoe sales. You know what I'm talking about?
On Facebook, shoe sales?
Oh yeah. That's the thing on Facebook where suddenly somebody gets, I don't know what they do. They get tagged, and next thing you know, they like shoes, and there's a photo of shoes with a tag of 26 different people on your wall. It's kind of nuts.
Hasn't happened to me yet. I have to say yet because things happen. So.
Things do happen. Yeah, you're right about that. But I don't know. It's just kind of strange.
I'll tell you what I have noticed with Facebook that I've had to apologize on my professional and personal accounts. It's somewhat of an apology and it's an explanation.
Right.
This year, from the beginning to now, has just been crazy and nuts for me. And we've talked about some of it. It's just, it's too deep to go into. It's just things are happening. And I have not been able to. When I joined Facebook, on the personal and professional account, I tried to stay on top of things. If it was a member of a group, I tried to stay on top of the group posts and then see what all my friends and family are doing. I can't keep up anymore. I can't do it. I just can't do it. So I had to post. I posted in each of my accounts, just in the notes section. I said, "Listen, everybody. I apologize. It's been 3 months since I've really reasonably read all of my email, or at least been able to track it, not read it all, but track it. And at some point, I'm gonna have to take a weekend and go through each individual email account from the beginning of the year till now, just to see if I miss anything, because I know I have.
Right.
I can't keep up.
Well, don't you use it on your phone? I mean, what did I see the other day? I thought I saw something, and it said you were using something, and I think it was maybe it was Skype. I don't know. You were using some service on your Android, and I thought maybe it was Facebook. So, cool. Slick's on Facebook.
Well, no, I on the I've got to get the name right. The Sprint Epic 4G Samsung Galaxy S that I have, which is right there. It's the slide keyboard.
Nice. I like that one.
Yeah, well, and you still holding on to the iPhone, though, right?
Yes, I still have the iPhone.
We will probably get to that in a moment.
All right. You will have to pry it from my cold, dead hands.
There's news.
I've been assimilated. Oh, there's news. Oh, I like this. All right.
Yeah, but back to Android first. The one, the OS that really matters.
Yes.
I'm just saying. There's on this. What came with it was there's a widget. There's a widget that lets me tie into Facebook, MySpace, and Twitter.
All right.
And then I also downloaded the apps for Twitter, Facebook, and MySpace. And I got a message or something from somebody, and I tried to post something. So yeah, I did use the Facebook Android application to post something. I did forget what it was, but it was probably. You know what? Also, I also have TweetDeck on here too, which gives me access to Facebook and Twitter. Right. So I've got all those in here in regards to those social networking services.
All right.
You
got quiet all of a sudden.
I
was like,
did Andy
all right, go on.
Everybody?
No, I'm listening. I'm up. Go on. I'm still thinking, where's he going to go with this iPhone thing?
Well, with the iPhone thing.
All right, no, wait. Back up 1 second, though. Okay. So using your Facebook application on your Samsung Epic 4G Galaxy 2S. I said it right, didn't I?
No, whatever it was. Yeah.
Well, okay.
This phone here, everybody, that one.
Now, do you prefer to use the web browser on that, or do you use the actual Android application for the Facebook?
For the moment, I'm using, for browsers, just so you know, for the moment, I'm using 3 browsers. I've got the browser that came with the phone, I put on Firefox, and I put on Dolphin. Now, to answer your question about the whole, usually I start with the widget. I usually start, let me see, you know what? I might be able to pull up the widget real fast. Let me see. It might even come up. Let me see.
People are going to ask what the Dolphin is.
Right there.
All right, let's see that. Yeah. Hold on, let me get a good, better shot of that.
Okay.
All right.
It's just a widget, sits right on your desktop, if you will, of the phone, and but it's convenient, very, very, very convenient. So I use that first.
All right.
And then from there, I would go to, as I just changed screens. Well, I got TweetDeck, and then there's Twitter and Facebook and Google Plus and LinkedIn. So though they're there, and I go down the line in that order.
Okay, all right.
So I would probably. I'm trying to remember what post that Andy might have saw, but I just don't remember.
Now you used to use some of the third party, some of the third party companies, like Nimble. Did you ever use that or some of the other ones?
Nimble, but the one I did use, what's the bear? It was the bear that just got purchased by AOL. Brizzly.
Oh, okay, yeah. And you use that to kind of bring everything all in together.
Yeah, well, Brizzly was nice because of the web interface. I was able to make more modifications to Twitter posts than I was allowed through the original Twitter interface on the website. Brizzly would allow me to instead of just retweeting, which still is an issue for me with Twitter on their web interface. Mm-hmm. With Twitter, you can only retweet. With Brizzly, when it was active, I could edit, and it looks like a retweet.
Oh no, that's kind of cool.
It was very cool because sometimes when you retweet it, the post is too long.
Right.
So you need to take out stuff and add stuff, for clarification. And Brizzly allowed me to do that. And so I really enjoy Brizzly. Plus, Brizzly would kind of like automatically update and stuff.
Well, I like that. Twitter, do you still use it?
Still use Twitter a lot. Not as much because I've been just busy, just not as much as I used. I used to always be on the net.
I don't know. How long does it take for you to send a tweet, though? I mean, seriously, for 140 characters, if you're just sending a tweet, just saw cool new, or Apple just announced a brand new product, or, I mean, couldn't you use it for that, or do you tend to try to use it for other things?
I consider myself a conscientious tweeter. I'm not just, if you look at some posts that are on Twitter.
Yeah.
They're just, these, why did you even post that? What was the point? You took time out of your life and day, boy, nothing must be going on.
And this is even some of the big tweeters, some of the ones, like that have been tweeting for years that have, thousands of followers. And then you have, what? Where did that come from?
Yeah. Oh, Egg McMuffin. What?
Well, nobody's really complained about it. And my Facebook is a personal Facebook, although it is Tech Talk Radio, because that is who I am. But it is a personal thing, and I will take a step further than saying, if you talk about Perillo and you talk about what he does, mine's even more personal. It's his is at least when he puts stuff out, it is technical in nature. You know what I'm saying? Mine is like, hey, it's me drinking, it's me out partying, having dinner. Here's what I'm eating today. I have a lot of friends that we hang out. Now, I did create a like page for TechtalkRadio.com, although I haven't promoted it because I haven't created a banner yet and done all that. But I mean, it's up there, and on that is where I repost and post whatever I find when it comes to tech. And I took about a week, maybe a week and a half off. And it's not because I was in jail. I'll talk about it coming up here in a little bit. But I did take a little time off. But now I want to get back into it and really, kind of put everything into it.
Yeah. You got to be careful. You got to choose your social networking services as well, because there's a guy, a friend of mine, he's got a business and he's talking about getting on Facebook and being more active. And I just tell everybody, look, here's what you need to know. Okay, don't get on the train just because everybody else is on it.
Yeah,
but because people are going to expect you, most of them, if not all, they're going to expect you to participate and converse and interact. If you don't have time for that, maybe you shouldn't be on Facebook.
Yeah, that's true. People get upset.
Yeah,
they get hurt. They take it personally if you make a comment on their page and you don't make a comment back. And if you end up building your list of followers and you never check out their wall, they also take that. And there's nothing worse in a conversation. I don't know if you've had these, like, where you're talking to somebody and they're saying, "Oh yeah, didn't you see that on my wall?" And you're like, "Well, I haven't been to your wall, in a while." And so it's almost like you have your close circle and then you have your extended circle. I think, and I guess that's almost like what I'm talking about, like Google Plus, right? I guess, would you find yourself posting more quick information, more, product information, more tips and tricks on Google Plus than you would on Facebook?
Yes, I would, and here's why. Google services, just in general, remember, when you look at the stuff Google puts out, it's built for speed and simplicity. And
Good point.
when you have a complicated life or you got things going on, you have a life or something like that, you really, you appreciate that. And that's why I think to use Google Plus. Well, there's two reasons, really. There's that, as well as if you're using Google services a lot, as much as I do. I'm on Google all the time. Gmail, Google Voice, all that stuff.
YouTube? YouTube? It's kind of tied in. Yeah.
I try to. I don't get to produce as much video as I would really like to.
Yeah.
But they make it real easy for you to tie all that stuff in and stay logged in and do. There's something that Yahoo and AOL did well when they started.
Right.
When they started, not necessarily so much anymore. But
Let's talk about that too, real quick. Yahoo laying off. What was it? Couple thousand employees.
Yeah, it was. And the word is they're not done yet.
No, trying to save money. Can they survive? I mean, when they had a different model, when they were actually offering the service where you would dial in and they were your provider. It was different. They had money coming in. The money coming in now is coming in from advertisers. Is it enough to support a global operation like Yahoo,
whoever they are?
Yeah, exactly.
I think. Excuse me. I think there's still a chance for AOL and Yahoo as well as MSN. Some of the ones that aren't really thought of as highly anymore. I still think they can be competitors in the market, and not to say that they're not. I'm just saying they could be stronger than they are. It's a matter of refocusing. They were trying to do too much with too little. All right, pare back. So the bad answer is, well, let's fire a lot of people.
Yeah.
Well, okay. That's not the absolute answer. I know they're trying to cut budget and all that kind of stuff, but they need to look at what they're doing and go, all right, this has got to go. This has got to go because we're not doing these well. That's got to go. These were strong. Let's try to build it. Okay, now we've got our core back. Now let's move forward. That needs to happen to all those properties. And again, Yahoo, AOL, MSN, stuff like that.
Do you think AOL has a better model than Yahoo?
I think they're headed towards a better model.
Yeah.
They seem to be. I mean, because like I said, they picked up Brizzly, which I think was smart, and I saw them pull in, become a little bit more consolidated before they decide that they're going to again try to take a swing at Google or whoever.
Well, it seems to me too. It wasn't an AOL who, when we look at 12 Seconds TV, that was really kind of having a rough time staying afloat and getting people to understand the concept of 12 seconds because everybody wanted to be long form. It was kind of like Twitter for video. So instead of buying a company that's having a problem and investing all this money into it, they just hired the people behind the company to come work for them.
Yeah.
I mean, doesn't that kind of makes sense in that respect, rather than going out and making these big purchases for maybe smaller operations that are just not able to rise to the cream of the crop. I don't know what I'm doing with my hands here, like pedaling. If you're watching on the video, yeah, I'm actually pedaling a bicycle with my hands.
Just put your hands on the desk. Just sit them, palms down. Boy, I haven't heard that since school.
Yeah, really? My God. Or jail. Yeah. All right.
I'm looking around for the nun again. I got kicked out of one of those.
All right, so I want to hear what you have to say about the iPhone. Obviously, I'm wondering either you're getting one or you had one and hated it. I want to know what has happened in the 2 weeks that have made you want to bring up the iPhone 4S.
You want to hear that now, or we want to take a break? Or?
Yeah, actually, let's go ahead and take a quick break. We come back, we'll find out what Slick has to say about the iPhone 4S and why this could be momentous. Also coming up a little later on in the show, Bruce Hawver from SteelSeries. We'll talk to him about some of the very cool gadgets they have. All of that coming up next here at Tech Talk Radio. And we're back in Tech Talk Radio. Thank you for staying with us. WLMN Radio in Grafton, West Virginia. You can also check us out on Radio Exiles on our Thursday cast. And then, of course, all the time right here at TechtalkRadio.com. Now, trying to put a little more time aside. That's what it is. It's all about, isn't it, Slick? It's about time. And we're trying to put more time aside to update the site, update the blog, update the forum I haven't even looked at in a while. Is it still there?
The forum still exists. It's there. It's hanging on.
We'll come up with some things, and change them around. We were going to change the whole look of the website, and then we got about 75% done, and we looked at it and said, don't like it. I like the old flow of the other one, and so we've stuck with it until we come up with something better. I think we're here for a little while with this one. It's easy to get through. Don't forget to check it out if you were thinking about getting a website or anything along that line. Use our links up on our website at techtalkradio.com. Surely helps us pay the bills, and it helps you get a good deal on getting some products. So feel free to check that out again at techtalkradio.com. I'll talk about what I was doing this past week here in just a little bit. But first, I really want to find out what Slick's deal is with the iPhone.
Okay. Well, first of all, something that'll lead into it. I got a friend who has an iPhone. I actually have two friends. Well, that makes three. That's you. So I guess I have more than I really want to care about and admit it in public. So his charger died on his iPhone.
Ooh.
He needed a new charger.
Right.
So he went and bought one and plugged it in, and he goes, "Hey, Slick, man, it's taken twice." I guess the way he explained it to me was it's taken twice as long to charge versus, I guess, the original charger that came with the iPhone. The example he gave me was he said in 30 and 40 minutes he can only get it a quarter charge, where with the original charger in 30, 40 minutes he used to get it charged halfway.
Right. That's about right.
So dealing with technology, repairing and electronics every day, I asked him questions, I investigated, I looked at the charger and I looked at the phone, and then I went to some friends of mine who actually run cell phone business with accessories and all that. And I took him the charger and I go, listen, I said, I'm looking at is this the possibility it's a bad charger? Because it looked like it was a cheap charger. Yeah, I think he paid, I'm trying to remember, $10 maybe $10 for it.
Right.
It was white. And they looked at it and they said, no, we haven't had any complaints about it. And then just happened to look at it really good while I was standing there with them. And I said, well, the voltage out, whatever it was, I don't remember what it was. But then I looked at the amperage and it's 1 amp out. And then it hit me. Well, wait a minute. How much amperage was his original charger putting out?
Oh.
So I asked him about it. I said, this is the cheaper charger you have with the iPhone? Yeah. I said, well, do you have any other chargers? I said, oh, yeah, we have other chargers for the iPhone, and they're much better. Show them to me. I looked at them. Sure enough, the good one, the amperage out on it was double. It was 2 amps.
Wow, that's interesting. So it's like a slow charge is what he was getting. Yeah.
So consider that, everybody, because it takes me the charger that came with my Samsung phone.
Right.
It takes me from a very, very low charge. It takes about a couple hours on that charger to charge up. Now, initially when I got the phone, I knew for my phone usage, you need to get. I wanted to get an extra battery, but you have to take the back off to put the battery on. All right, do they have a high capacity battery? No, not for this model. All right, so what are my options? Okay, can I get a faster charger? Well, I couldn't quickly find one. One probably exists now that I'm thinking it through, but I don't know if I'm going to go that route anymore because this is an older phone. So consider that if you need to replace a charger, whether it be one that you use in the car or that you're charging from a computer, which is a whole other subject we may get to one day. But we're talking about the AC chargers. Look at the amount of amperage that's coming out of it. The lower, because if you can do a comparison, if you go this charger versus this charger versus this charger, if the one with the higher amperage is going to charge it a little bit faster. I'm not saying it's better. I'm just saying it's faster. Sometimes slow charges last longer. I'm just saying.
Wait, so you mean as far as time of use of the product?
Yes, it does.
Really? Yeah. I would think once it's charged, once you have that green battery, that's your full.
With the batteries that we're using nowadays, the lithium-ion batteries, that should be the case. I have not run my own tests to verify that, but that's the theory behind it. Based on the technology. Once it's charged, it should be charged, and it should dissipate the charge evenly throughout whatever. It's not like the old NiCad batteries like we used to use, supposedly. Right. But I haven't been able to run actual tests on this yet.
One of the biggest complaints that Gloria has with her Droid is that the battery dies like within 4 hours of use. I mean, she could be at work and she could be, and then she finds it to be rather slow. Now, somebody was telling me that a good way to speed up your Droid device is to delete your messages. If you have a lot of text messages on there, to go through once in a while and clean those up. Same with your email. Clean up your email if you use it to capture POP3 mail or IMAP mail, to clean it up once in a while.
It might be. I know there are a lot of free apps out there that you can put on your Android phone. It will monitor usage of your phone and what's drawing power. I've actually seen some that monitor what's drawing the power and when. I don't use it. I just don't have time for that. Yeah. So you can try some of those to see if it'll give you an idea. But it's the old usual, what do you want to use the phone for? I want to use it as a phone. Right. Okay, well, then everything else becomes secondary. So then only put on and only use what you really feel you have to. Otherwise, throw everything on there, and then whatever happens, happens.
Well, and you do have to turn stuff off, don't you? I mean, do you turn off GPS and all that other stuff when you're not using it? Because it is using battery power.
Because I wear tinfoil hats, and I have many. I do turn off the GPS. I don't need people tracking me.
Tinfoil hats
anymore. Yeah.
It's funny because Thursday night. Now I guess I'll go into a little bit about what I did this past week. I worked with a crew about a year and a half ago on a TV project called Free Ride, and I'm actually in it. I'm one of the characters on the show. We're trying to get it shopped to television, outlets, and the show is actually still moving along. And there's some meetings coming up at the end of the month that could get it a network, and that's what we're looking for if it happens. So that'd be kind of a lot of fun. We've talked about that before. You can actually take a look at it if you go to Facebook and do Free Ride TV. You can watch it. But we had another project that just came up, and we had some sponsors, and we said, well, let's go ahead and do this. And so we did. It's called Drag Stars USA, and it's about the life and the fans and the crew of people behind drag racing, NHRA drag racing, all over the country. And we got full access. I mean, it was a blast. We went to the Las Vegas Motor Speedway. We did the captured the cars. We got some of the best drivers, and we were actually teamed up with for this episode, for this segment with Team Coletta, which is Connie Coletta, famed racer, and then we had access to Team Patron, DHL, Technicoat, and Cottonwood Sweets. I mean, so many cool things that were a part of the show. And so we went out there Thursday, and we were there till Sunday, and we basically videotaped, and now they're in editing, and they're actually almost done with a show that's ready to be delivered. Now we have to find a home for it, and I think with both this and with Free Ride, it could happen. I don't want to say too much, but it looks really good. And I'm running camera on this one. I'm not a part of the cast, but they brought me in for camera, and I shot with the Canon 7D in high definition. And then we also had another professional camera operator there, Michael Walker, who's been working for years in the business. He shot Cowboys and Aliens. He worked on Independence Day, on Tombstone. He's a young kid. He's a young guy, but he's been in the business a long time, and now he's working on Glee. So, he came down, and we basically both shot. I shot B-roll. He shot main camera, and we had a sound guy and a very limited crew. It was a lot of fun. But we stayed in a hotel in Las Vegas that had no internet access. I don't understand this to this day, why a hotel will not offer internet access.
And the DTs kicked in. No internet. They got a TV, but that's not good enough. There's nothing on TV. There never is anything on TV. There's a phone, but I don't need to call anybody. I got a phone. Everybody has a phone. Internet. I got to have packets. I need some IP addresses. Gimme.
That's how I felt. And, I got through Thursday, the first night we were there. But Friday, it was beginning to be like, I need to check, my Facebook. I need to check email. I need to be able to upload files. So I thought, well, the only way you could do it is go down to the lobby, and you got a free half hour down the lobby. I'm not carding I couldn't Skype with Gloria. We Skype every morning usually. I couldn't even Skype with her. So I just said, you know what? I'm just gonna go ahead and bite the bullet and call the boss, call the other boss I have, who actually, the phone is basically part of the company's. So I sent him a text rather than calling him. I said, "Any chance you could turn on the hotspot on this? Because it's the iPhone, and you have to pay extra for it." And I didn't hear anything back till that night when I was sitting in the jacuzzi after we got back from the track, just chilling out. And he called to tell me he turned it on. And it's actually really cool. And it works pretty fast. I'm really impressed. And now there's something that shows up on my screen. I just have to turn on the hotspot, turn off the hotspot. But that's the thing I guess you got to remember is to turn off the hotspot when you're not using it. Because otherwise it does suck up your battery life. Because it's just like having the GPS on and all that stuff. So it's a matter of learning your device, learning your phone, and understanding how it works and what to turn on, what to turn off. But funny story there I had to share with you. So
I was afraid we were going to go. There was going to be more. Once he said, and I was in the jacuzzi, I'm like, oh Lord, here we go.
Oh no! Did not drop it. No, that scares me. There is some waterproof devices now that you waterproof coating you can put on your iPhone or your Android that'll protect it, which is actually pretty cool. But no, I did not drop it. At one point, I was worried. I was on the 7th floor, and the balcony was pretty thin. I was sitting up there, and I put my iPhone on the rail, and then it took me like a flash of a second to picture that iPhone falling. That's all it took. We brought it back in.
Did you do the slow-mo in your head?
Yeah, basically that's what it was. No! I'll tell you what, we got to take a quick break. We come back. We'll talk with Bruce Hawver of Steel Series and find out some of the cool things they've got going on with their new products. And I know, Slick, you're going to be sitting there writing in the background to make your list, right?
Absolutely. Pen, see? Got the pen.
We'll do that when we come back here at Tech Talk Radio. We're back with Tech Talk Radio. I'm Andy Taylor.
Dan, I'm Slick.
And one of our favorite people, based in his office in Chicago, is Bruce Hawver with Steel Series. Slick, you like a lot of their products.
I like this. I think it's close to, you could probably say everything they make. I really do. And I like them. I like the way they've thought it out. I like the structure. I like the way it feels, I like the way it looks. I like to cuddle with them in bed late at night when I'm lonely.
Perfect. Well, let's talk to Bruce Hawver from Steel Series. He's on the line with us. Hey, Bruce.
Thanks for having me on the show. I'm looking forward to Cubs opening day.
Hey, you couldn't ask for better weather, could you?
Oh, it's amazing. It's amazing. I feel like I moved to the perfect weather state. I don't know what happened to the winter, but I'm not complaining.
Now, is this the kind of weather you had in January at CES?
Even better than that.
Isn't that great? Well, yeah, because you're at home.
Yeah, exactly.
That's awesome. Well, actually, I've got to ask, Bruce, how was the Consumer Electronics Show this year for you?
We felt there was a great vibe and energy at the show. Our customer suite that we had was just packed the entire time. Literally no breaks. Lots of excitement. I think we're really seeing a rebound starting to occur in the technology space.
Yeah.
As you know, we've been fortunate as a company, and we've been growing this whole time on the gaming side. But I would say as a whole, the industry really seemed to have a strong vibe that there's a lot of growth on the horizon. And I think we'll get to touch on some of those areas that we're excited about from the gaming side during the show here.
Absolutely. You know, it seems to me like a lot of people are not, maybe they're not going out as much, and they're staying in of all ages now and checking out games, doing it not only, by themselves, they're playing as a couple now. They're getting their spouses involved in it, and they're really having a good fun, whether it be mobile gaming or console gaming or PC gaming, which is where SteelSeries comes in for both console and PC. So it becomes more of a, kind of an experience between family members. I don't want to say we're pulling away from the board games like Monopoly or Life, but really, in essence, that's what families are doing now, isn't it?
Definitely. And good news is you can still play Monopoly in Life on your mobile device or on your PCs if you want to, right?
Absolutely.
Or for that matter, your console. And I think it is that social aspect that I think we talked about this on one of the previous shows. I'm of the age of the Atari generation and grew up with first the 2600 and then Atari computers. And the analogy I always like to make is the old world of gaming was you invited your friend or friends over and you sat around the TV and you played together. But then it was time to go home to dinner or break off the gaming session. Today, it's there are no boundaries, and the boundaries are really ones that you set for yourself or your parents set for you if you're a kid, and it is as much about the social aspect as it is the gaming itself, and
Absolutely.
that's why I think you see now such a huge range of games from the very basic things like a Words with Friends all the way up to, of course, great games, social online games like World of Warcraft or StarCraft 2, all the really exciting products, games that get people to interact with each other.
Now, for our listeners who maybe have not heard our show before, or maybe they're not too familiar with SteelSeries, can you tell us just a little bit about the company history-wise?
Sure. The company was founded in 2001, so we're I like to call us a 10-year startup, 11-year startup in a positive way, in the sense that we're seeing still tons of growth and lots of new opportunities every day. The core of the company is based around the concept of growing what's called esports. So in the U.S., you're starting to see it grow with organizations like MLG, Major League Gaming, where there's an opportunity for people to come together and play in a competitive environment. Oftentimes for prize money, sometimes it's just prizes such as free computer gear or whatever else, but really rising their gameplay to the top level in the world. And so the company from the very beginning has developed products targeted towards that hardcore gamer, as well as trying to sponsor top teams, top events. So last year, for example, our top 5 teams won over $2 million in prize money. That was a record for esports, and we expect this year it'll become even bigger, given the amount of prize money that's going out there. And so when you're a consumer, even if you're not a competitive gamer, so you're not looking to be up on the stage playing for the $100,000 prize money, but you still want the best equipment, or you really want to beat your brother, your sister, whoever it is that you're playing against, that's where our equipment comes into play. We build our equipment to optimize the gameplay for the user in order to give them that extra advantage over their opponent. So you see similar things, of course, in sports like golf, where there's a range of golf clubs from top level pings to lower level off the shelf stuff. We definitely tend to skew towards the upper end, where it's really should hopefully be giving you an advantage in your game.
Absolutely. That higher DPI ratios, faster response, all of that is going to come into play if you're playing a game that's intense, whether it be like Call of Duty or even, a World of Warcraft.
Exactly. And then I think you touched on it briefly, and we've touched on it a couple of times in your show. The great thing is so we're building this equipment for what we consider one of the most demanding customers. They travel around a lot. The pro gamers travel around a lot. The tournaments are held all over the world. The big prize money tournaments are all over the world. So they're always porting their equipment. So we have extreme focus on quality and durability, and then performance. And so while a pro gamer may view performance being a headset that they can wear during the entire tournament while they're practicing in between their games, etc. That same those same benefits can also cross over to a consumer even outside of gaming, right? So if you're
Yeah.
a person who's using Skype a lot from home to do office calls or whatever else, I'd challenge you to go out and try one of our headsets, because I think you will find that for the same reason a gamer loves it, for its performance in terms of comfort and durability and responsiveness on the microphone to pick up what the person's saying, etc. You get those same benefits outside of the gaming world with our
Absolutely.
equipment.
Well, it's amazing, Bruce, and I'll just touch on this real quickly, and I know you know the story on this, but I'm a professional broadcaster. I do a morning show in the market. I even do an afternoon show on another station in the market, and I actually wear SteelSeries products, and you can consider it an endorsement of it. They're comfortable. If I wear them for 4 hours straight, which is the normal length of an air shift, I don't have fatigue. I don't have sweat. That's something I used to get with even some high-end broadcast headphones that I used to wear, say 7 or 8 years ago. So you do make a very comfortable product, and I can imagine some of these gamers, they're going 12 hours, if not longer, in some of the games.
During a tournament especially, yeah.
Yeah,
sure.
Absolutely. All right, so I want to talk a little bit about some of these new products, too, that were launched at the Consumer Electronics Show. I know I don't want to pronounce it right, the Kana and the Kinzu. First of all, where do the names come from? Do you just throw them into a hat and say, okay? Or is there really some decision-making going into these names?
No, there's actually decision making, and we're actually ending this series, if you want to say, over the next year or so here. It started back, if you remember, our first mouse, the first SteelSeries mouse, which came out in 2008, which was the Akari.
Yep.
All of these names are drawn from the Japanese language, and
Right.
all of them have meanings tied to them based on the Japanese to English translation.
Oh, cool.
And so Kinzu and Kana have their meaning, and Sensei, of course, being the master, right, being the most recent one that we had released prior to CES. Could take up lots of time explaining each one, but we have a pretty good description out on our Facebook page or on our website too, and encourage your users to go see it. But that's where the naming convention comes from.
Well, tell us a little bit about these products. What is, say, difference between the Kana and the Kinzu version 2?
Yep, absolutely. So Kinzu V2 was really, as the name describes, it's a new edition of a product that has been extremely successful for us. It is our entry-level gaming mouse product. Mm-hmm. So the MSRP is $39.99. It's really designed to be a high-performance optical mouse that just gets to the basics of really good tracking, good responsiveness on the buttons. It's not designed to have a whole bunch of fancy features. As we get into some of the higher tier stuff, we've talked in the past about some of the settings we have around not having angle snapping and all these other things that your very top level gamer starts to care about. The Kinzu is the product that you can pull out of the box, plug it in, and you're going to get that precise tracking on it. So It's an ambidextrous design mouse, optical sensor, operates at about 3,600 frames per second. So the top optical sensor out there. And we've just really focused on making it something that works extremely well if you need precision tracking,
Nice.
But you don't care about all the other stuff on it.
So being a lefty, I'm not going to feel weird.
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. We early on figured out that this ambidextrous shape seemed to get a lot of strong positive feedback from consumers, and we understood the value proposition, especially, by the way, for our retail partners, because carrying a left-handed mouse, well, I'm a left-handed person, so I can say this and not offend anyone.
Yeah.
We're in the minority. And,
yeah, we are.
And, to try to put a SKU on a retail shelf that sells to a small percentage of the population, it's often hard for it to generate enough turns to stay there.
Right.
But an ambidextrous mouse, of course, can do that. And by the way, right-handed mouse generally can, because I think it's something like 85% plus, right, are right-handed users. So some of us fall in that minority, but this one will work for us.
How about the Kana? What does the Kana do for the user? Is that the maybe a step above or a couple of steps?
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly. So the Kana's our mid-tier. It's again ambidextrous. This has a 6-button design on it. So it has two really nice big buttons on the side for very rapid response time on those buttons. It's a lot of people like this size. It's interesting. The Kinzu is the smallest in terms of the dimensions of our mice. The Kana fits in between our Kinzu and our Sensei. So it's that medium size mouse, which seems to be right now, based on early feedback, really appealing to a lot of users. And it's really designed, again, to let people go out there and have a good gaming experience. This one's priced at $10 more than the Kinzu, so it's $49.99, but that's still significantly less than our top tier product. And again, then you're getting less features. One other fun thing about the Kana that came out, we originally were planning to do white. Internally, a lot of people like to call it the Stormtrooper mouse. So for those of you playing Star Wars Old Republic, you might really like the design. It does have kind of it's an all white design where kind of Stormtrooper feel to it.
Oh, cool.
And then the second color is the really fun part. It's black and orange. And a lot of people probably think initially, oh, well, you guys picked that, of course, because those are your company colors. If those of you who are familiar with our packaging will know we use black and orange all the time on our packaging. But the reality is we ran an NCAA bracket basically on our Facebook page to let the users decide which mouse color will be the second mouse color. And black and orange won pretty significantly. It had over 60,000 likes in the final round. So hopefully those of you who liked it will be able to go out and purchase it now that it's becoming available.
I can see Harley Davidson fans wanting that too.
Oh, yeah, very good. Yeah. And you would know about that, Andy. So.
Absolutely. All right. Now, I know with this, you also have a new product actually just announced this past week, the Sensei Raw. Can you tell us what makes this such a great gaming mouse?
So here's the deal. So the Sensei Raw, again, and it's a little bit difficult maybe for the users who haven't been on some of the other shows, but we came out with our master product late last year, which was called the Sensei, the Master, and it has everything you could possibly. We call it the world's most customizable mouse.
Wow.
I mean, you could customize everything on the Sensei, right?
All right.
We got such positive feedback on that mouse. It won top award in most markets by the top public gaming publications that we decided, and by the way, based on feedback we were getting from our community, that there are a lot of people that wanted that performance that mouse delivered in terms of its sensor, and they liked the look. It has 3 zones, which you can decide how you want it lighted with pulsation or not pulsation and stuff. But we took away a lot of the other bells and whistles that added a lot of cost into the Sensei.
Yeah.
So, for example, on the Sensei, if you remember, on the bottom, there's an LCD screen where you can set up the entire mouse on the mouse itself through the LCD screen, not even having to load our driver software to do a lot of the settings.
Correct.
The Raw doesn't have that. It doesn't have that LCD screen on the bottom. It doesn't have the 32-bit ARM processor that the Sensei has. But it does give you this great laser sensor that gives you extremely strong precision tracking. It has all the buttons that the Sensei had, and it's at a $59.99 MSRP.
Oh, wow.
So you're able to keep at an $89.99.
So you get this real strong product, and you're able to keep the price down at a point that maybe gamers are going to feel very comfortable with.
Exactly. So you want the top performance sensor out there, but you can't afford to pay for all the other bells and whistles. The Sensei Raw is the right product for you. You will get professional level performance from your mouse, but at a price point that's a little bit more affordable. The other thing we did, and this is personal preference for consumers out there, but on the Sensei, there's right now only one finish, which is this glossy, shiny finish. It looks really awesome. I think if you've seen the pictures, if not, go to our website and check it out. But on the Raw, we actually did 2 styles. We did a glossy black coating, and then we did a rubberized coating.
Oh.
Because we did get some feedback from some people about the Sensei saying, hey, I'm not a big fan of glossy. What do you have that's, more rubberized? Some people want the rubber because they think it for longer gaming periods, it'll absorb some of the sweat and so forth.
Right.
So the Sensei Raw, you can pick glossy or rubber, and again, $59.99 for the mouse.
I'll tell you what, a very good mouse as well. Moves very, very great, especially when you're playing, like I said, games like Call of Duty, Modern Warfare 3. I've been playing that, and I love it. Very comfortable in the hand as well. Now, there's a new mobile controller as well, the SteelSeries Ion. Now, for those listeners who are not familiar with what a mobile controller does, can you kind of give us a brief update on that?
Absolutely. So this is my personal favorite, Andy. I think, my previous life was doing accessories in the telecom space, and I can't be more thrilled that we're coming out with this product at the time we're coming out with it. So what the SteelSeries Ion mobile controller is if you go and grab your tablet, pick your favorite brand, you grab the tablet and you start to try to play a game like Call of Duty Zombies on it, which is one of the more popular games. I think most of your listeners will agree that experience of swiping on the screen and trying to touch on the panel and get all the responses, they can't perform nearly at the level that they could when they were sitting at home in front of their PC or their console using a controller that comes typically with a console, or many people buy as an add-on for their gaming computers. So this is your standard 2 joysticks, multiple button layout controller, but in a very small form factor. Right. So it's at the size that will fit into your shirt pocket. Extremely portable. It's going to be Bluetooth. We're expecting a very good battery life on it. I don't want to quote data yet. I know the spec sheet you have has something on it. I mean, obviously, once the product releases, we'll release the final specs.
Right.
It will initially work on Android smartphones and tablets. It will work on your PC.
Cool.
It should work on Windows Mobile. We're going to need to confirm that, but based on how we have it configured, it should be working on that. Expect to see it come out this fall, and I mean, it will make gaming on your tablet or smartphone as close to the same experience as you can have sitting at home in front of your TV, playing on your PC or your console or whatever your favorite home gaming device is.
Great place to be too. Great because this is what a lot of gamers that are moving now to tablets are going to want to have. This is great.
I mean, we think two things that are true. One is the hardware and the infrastructure and the networks is there now where mobile gaming can become real, right? Yeah. So before, maybe some of the tablets didn't have a strong enough processor, but as you know, the company out in Cupertino announced a new one, and I suspect you'll see from many other players the similar kind of thing with the quad core chips, right? I mean, the processing power, the screen refresh rates, et cetera, on these tablets especially is becoming equal to what you were gaming at home on before.
Yeah, we had a guy the other day, Bruce, that actually commented who called in on the Tech Talk radio show and said that he has a feeling that eventually that company in Cupertino may just eliminate their PC division, or not PC division, but their computer division, and just go with tablets and mobile because it's been such a winner for them.
Yeah, could be. I have my own personal opinion on that. Yeah. I don't know if we want to get into that discussion right now, but I definitely see the future, and I always like to give the example. I think maybe a lot of your listeners that have kids can relate to this. So when my kids have to go to swimming practice, right, my wife battles with them to basically save their game and get into the car so that she can drive them to the practice.
Yeah.
When these devices start to come out and the whole ecosystem comes together, which we believe will happen, and we're going to do our darndest to make sure it happens, it will no longer be a debate, because all they'll need to do is pause the game, grab their tablets, jump into the back seat of the car, and finish off wherever they were, up until the next debate now will be getting them out of the car to the swim lesson. But at least you got them to the swim lesson. and so I think this world of, in my old company used to be called seamless mobility. There's lots of different names for it, but this idea that you can be playing on one system, pause the game, and then take another system and pick it up and start playing it from where you left off. I just have to believe we're within a very short time frame of seeing that happen.
Absolutely. I totally agree with you on that. Now, one of the biggest, most awaited games, though, in a while, and it's been cool because we've seen some alliances with SteelSeries and Blizzard Entertainment in not only, the games that are out now, but one that's coming up, Diablo 3. I guess that's coming, in a couple of months from now. Will we see some products branded for Diablo 3?
Yes, so we last BlizzCon, which would have been I think what late October of 2011,
Yeah.
announced a series of products around Diablo 3, and for those consumers who've been waiting for the game to come out, yes, I believe it's May 15th. Blizzard now has officially announced the game will be fully available, able to be played, and
Nice.
we're super excited. We were excited and got tremendous press on the products when we announced them at BlizzCon. So there's a Diablo 3 mouse that has the newest Omron switches. For those of your listeners who are in the technical side of things, has the newest Omron switches in it, and it's guaranteed for a lifespan of 10 million clicks. Those of you
Wow.
who play the game know it's extremely click intensive. So that's about 3 times what an average mouse will sustain.
Right.
It has the engine software, SteelSeries engine software, which maybe if we have a minute, I can come back to at the
Yeah.
end. But it will literally count the clicks for you. So you know, it's not we're just making up this number. You'll be able to see how many times you click each button and what you've done with it. Um, so that's the mouse. The Diablo headset is just, I think, a work of art, and it has some really neat features. Again, back to our earlier discussion, it has 50 millimeter drivers, so you get all the highs and the lows from, and even the ominous sounds coming from the game. It has leather padded ear cushions to help create some passive noise reduction for the user. It's based on our Siberia style, which just has extreme comfort for
Yeah.
very long gaming periods. And then it has two other really cool features that are new for us, and you'll see starting to broaden out in our line. The first one is active noise cancellation microphone.
Great.
So when you have your microphone, as you know, Andy, our microphone's really kind of an innovative design where they tuck into the ear cup and the your ear cup when you're not using it, and then you can pull it out and bend it however you want to fit the shape of your head.
Yeah.
That microphone now with this active noise reduction will actually block out as much of the background noise as possible. So if you're on Diablo playing with friends online, it will really minimize a lot of the outside noises that may be going on. Maybe your brother or sister's running around behind playing something. Up to a certain level, your friend should not even hear that person.
Or the wife yelling at you to get offline.
Yeah, well, I didn't want to encourage that one. I might get some nasty letters in the mail.
Yeah.
So
Send them to me.
the second really cool new feature is the lighting. So it has 18 LED lights on it.
Ooh.
It just glows. I mean, when you plug this thing into the USB port, it just lights up. And the really fun thing about it is you can set the lighting how you want. My favorite is what's called click lighting. What it does is it actually pulses as noise is coming into your ear cup.
Right.
And so it has kind of a cool effect when you're playing, but where I use it actually is at the office, because now what happens is if people look in through the window and they see my ear cup beating, they know that I'm either on the phone or listening to something on the internet, right?
Great idea. Yeah.
Whereas if it's still, they know they can come in, and even though I may have the headset on, I'm not actually on a call or anything. So
Great.
So kind of a fun little thing. It looks cool when you're gaming at a LAN center or whatever else, but it actually has a real life practical use too when you're at home, if you don't want people yelling, as you said, while you're gaming, or at the office.
Excellent. Now, with all of these products, I think we haven't really touched too much on keyboards too. Will we see a specialized keyboard not only for that, but for more titles that are out in the market?
So let's make that our next discussion. I think you'll see something coming out from us soon on that front. Oh, by the way, I forgot to mention also on Diablo the mouse pads.
Oh, yeah.
As you know, our company started in mouse pads. We're very highly rated on that front. You can send your users online and check customer responses, whatever. And we have a mouse pad basically for each of the main character types in the game.
I had somebody the other day, Bruce, that we got in a discussion. He was telling me, oh, you don't need mouse pads anymore. They've changed. They don't use the balls, for that we used to see in the old school mouse. And, I told him, I said, I have to disagree with you. I said, I believe that your gaming can be enhanced with the use of a proper surface, even if you're using an optical mouse. Am I correct in that?
You're absolutely correct. Absolutely. He's exactly right about why they originally kind of had a value
Yeah.
in terms of the roller balls. And in fact, our first mouse pad was glass because the roller balls would pick up all the gunk, and you needed something that could be cleaned off easily, so it didn't pick up all the gunk. But today, without question, I think there's only two types of mice out there, and they're not gaming grade type mice. And frankly, I don't think they could be, for exactly what you said. A mouse pad, if is going to give you better precision, better tracking of the mouse, and that just makes sense with how the technology works, right? And can you use a mouse without a mouse pad? Absolutely, many people do. Can you play your best in a game without a mouse pad? I don't think you'll find very many professionals, if any, that don't use a mouse pad, and there's a reason for that.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Now also, you haven't left off the console gamer, and I know we've touched on this on past episodes. Are we seeing some new products for users of the Xbox 360 and the PlayStation 3?
Yeah, so right now we have both PlayStation 3 and Xbox headsets available. Encourage our listeners to go out and check them out on our website. We think they're great. We have, I think, about 4 different models available. And in terms of as we look forward, again, let's bank that for our next call. I think if we go on our usual pattern here and talk in a couple of months, I'll have some pretty fun things to talk about with you.
Awesome. I can't wait. Now, our listeners can certainly go to the website. Where can they, the website address, go ahead and give that to our listeners.
Sure. It's www.steelseries, STEELSERIES.com.
And they can find it pretty much in most retail locations, as well as ordering it directly from the site, can't they?
Exactly. Yeah, we have great retail partners in the market. We actually do a surprisingly rapidly increasing online business ourselves. So wherever the consumer prefers, we encourage them to go out and try our equipment out. We're excited about where things are going, and happy with the portfolio we have, and the expansions that we talked about today, and some of the ones coming up. I'm really excited, again, as I said earlier, about the mobile gaming space. I know it's very early for those types of games, but I think with what's coming out, that space is going to explode.
Definitely a great direction to head in. Bruce Hawver, always great talking to you. We look forward to talking to you again in a few months and finding out what other cool things you guys are coming up with.
You've been a great supporter since the beginning. I still owe you a dinner sometime, and I want to just thank you for all your support and for giving us a chance to talk to your listeners.
I want to come out there and have some of that Chicago pizza. That's
it's a deal. I got my Cubs tickets. Why don't you come out for a game?
Perfect.
Thanks, Bruce. Take care.
Take care. Thanks a lot.
Perfect. All right. There we go. That's Bruce Hawver from SteelSeries. I don't know, Slick, what do you think? Mobile gaming and having a device that'll help you on your phone or your tablet actually is a pretty good idea.
Yeah, they've been working on that for quite some time. Hasn't really taken off, especially with the iPad. That's where they thought it was going to really get some traction. And not to say that it's not prevalent in tablets as well as phones. It's just it's not as strong as it is on computers, or even the gaming platforms, and more gaming platforms are like it now.
Yeah,
no, they are.
Well, we've seen, people who have tablets say, what do they say usually? I want a keyboard. They want to be able to use a real keyboard with it. So that's obviously going to be one area. But as far as the gaming and stuff, that's actually kind of cool. That would be nice if it could happen.
Yeah, it depends on the game, though. I mean, you could do the driving games and stuff like that, but I mean, what more can you do?
You can't do it while you're driving. Yeah. All right, so
you could.
Yeah,
but you should.
All right, final thoughts before we wrap today's show. Just this past April 1st, a new ban in Tucson against texting and driving. Now, I understand they say this is going to be a difficult ban to enforce, but I'll tell you what, it does make you think twice about picking up the phone when you hear that text message come in.
That should have been, it shouldn't take a law. It just should take a law, because I've been watching people for the past few weeks. You stop at a stoplight, and I turn to my right, and there they are texting.
Right.
And I could tell as they pull up to the light, too, because they're like, they stop short, and then they pull up, and it's stopping.
Because they're trying to text.
Yeah, exactly.
Now, what about the idea of somebody, sitting at a light, just reading a text message? Oh, it still takes their concentration away from the road and the light. Is that still a bad thing?
Yeah, it is, because there are too many people that just can't, they can't do it. They just can't do it effectively. Because I've seen them sitting there reading text messages. Oh, lights,
Yeah. Huh. All right. So we'll
That's
see. We'll see what happens. How many tickets are handed out?
Yeah. Speaking of phones, real quick, beginning tomorrow, Sunday, April 8th. I know this will be late for some who are listening to it on a post, but
Right.
on a web post. Qualifying customers, you can get your AT&T iPhone unlocked. Check with them.
Really?
Yep.
So means if they have with Verizon, they can go to AT&T, or if they have an AT&T, they can go to Verizon or T-Mobile.
From AT&T, you can go to other carriers. Now, it's a little tricky here. A couple of footnotes that maybe nobody's mentioned to you about. Unlike AT&T, iPhones will only work with other GSM carriers. GSM.
All right.
Rules out Verizon and Sprint.
Oh.
Right.
Oh.
And what you should know about T-Mobile is that it's not officially supported on T-Mobile, and it's limited to the 2G edge network data speeds, which is slower than 3G, which is slower than 4G.
But if they have like an older iPhone and they want to have it, maybe use those services and then tie into their iTunes and all that, they could do that.
Yeah, not everybody can get their AT&T iPhone unlocked. I mean, you have to have been a good customer is basically what it boils down to. Check with AT&T, but they'll tell you like, oh, you owe us money, and you want your iPhone unlocked. Yeah.
Now, what if you own the phone outright? You bought the phone, you just did it that way, but it was originally on an AT&T service.
If you bought the phone, I don't see why they wouldn't unlock it. It should be unlockable. I'd be surprised, although maybe I shouldn't, that it's not already unlocked. But okay, it should be unlocked.
Yeah. Oh, okay. All right. Good. Well, good for passing it along. Obviously, check with your carrier to find out what the deal is with that. Good stuff. All right, Slick. Well, thank you for tuning in to another week of Tech Talk Radio. Slick, we can find you on the web.
On Slick it's Twitter. Twitter.com/Slick or @Slick, whichever. That's where you can get a lot of stuff. I'm on Google Plus. I'm on Facebook. I'm all over the place. I'm all over the net. I am the net.
Yes, you are Windows 8. Now you're the net. Oh, what do you think, real quick? Windows 8. Before, just a quick summation, and we'll get more info next week.
No new comments about it of any substance. If you haven't checked into it, do check our post of the show from a couple of weeks ago, where we showed you, we went through Windows 8 for you a little bit. Nothing else really jumps out other than what we presented a couple of weeks ago.
All right, sounds good. That's it for Tech Talk Radio. I'm Andy Taylor.
And I'm Slick.
Take care.